This is 21 Questions by Trivia Tribe. Trivia Tribe is the name of the trivia company that I own. I started that over 20 years ago, and I have done thousands of trivia shows in pubs and clubs around the place. Now I'm in your phone. I'm glad you're here. Let's go. Question 1. What species of shark terrorized the township of Amity in the novel and movie Jaws? That would be a great white shark, and I read that book. I was like 9 or 10 years old, and I was ironically at a beach holiday with some members of my family. You know how sometimes there's just like a little pile of books you can read? One of them was Jaws. I just think the landlord of that particular beach accommodation was having a laugh. Question 2. Which word contains all 5 vowels at least once and means an action that is bad or wrong, but not in a serious way? It's a misdemeanor. Question 3. Which herb does tabbouleh mainly consist of? Tabbouleh is known for its parsley content. It can also contain mint and others, but mostly, traditionally, parsley. Question 4 is always a true or false question in this podcast. Here we go, true or false. The Colosseum in Rome appears on the list of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Is that true? Is that false? That's actually false. The Colosseum in Rome does not appear on the list of 7 wonders of the ancient world. There's the Great Pyramid of Giza, there's the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, there's the statue of Zeus at Olympia, the Temple of Artemis at, I want to say Ephesus, I don't know, the Mausoleum at, okay, I should have practiced this, the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. I'm going to say the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Good-o. The Colossus of Rhodes and the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Good. Really wish I hadn't opened that particular door and walked halfway through before I realised I hadn't checked the pronunciation of Halicarnassus. Getting better at it, though. Question 5. Which of the following manufacturers first released a functioning motor vehicle? Was it Audi? Was it Mercedes-Benz? It was the Merc by a long way. They made their first car in 1886, and Audi didn't roll up till 1909. Question 6. In the human body, which gland organ is approximately 25 centimetres long, digests food, and produces insulin? It starts with P. That'd be your pancreas. Your pancreas doing important work. Don't leave home without it. Question 7. What number completes the band names Dave Clark and Ben Folds? That'd be 5. The Dave Clark 5, the Ben Folds 5. Curiously, the Ben Folds 5 only has 3 members. Okay, after question 7, we do the first clues for the Who Am I for the episode. Here we go. Who am I? I was born in Los Angeles in 1926. I never knew who my father was. My mother suffered from severe mental illness and was committed to an institution when I was just 9 years old, leaving me to spend most of my childhood moving between foster homes and an orphanage. To escape the orphanages, I married my 21-year-old neighbour when I was just 16 years old. Do you know who that is yet? Very, very famous woman. More clues after question 14. For now, though, question 8. In which galaxy is the Earth situated? That'd be the Milky Way. If you ever find yourself in a different galaxy and having to catch an Uber home, tell the driver the Milky Way, thanks. Question 9. Which American political scandal is central to the 1976 movie All the President's Men? That's Watergate. That's a scandal, of course, that eventually brought down Richard Nixon. Question 10. Which 4-letter word can follow each of the following words to make a word that makes sense? French, fog, shoe. I'll give that to you again because there's a little bit to think about. What 4-letter word can follow each of the following words to make a whole new word that makes sense? French, fog, shoe. Are you thinking horn, French horn, foghorn, shoehorn? Horn is correct. Well done you. Question 11. True or false? The first photographs of the dark side of the moon were taken as part of a Soviet mission way back in 1959. That's true. It was a Soviet spacecraft, the Luna 3, and they got the first snaps of the dark side of the moon. Question 12. Which TV producer and talent show judge created the concept for the TV show The X Factor? That's Simon Cowell. Question 13. In which country of the world is Cape Town? I normally try to sneak a geography question in somewhere around the mid-teens on this podcast. Today, the answer is South Africa. Question 14. Which S is a breaded cutlet dish made with boneless meat? That'd be your schnitty, your schnitzel. More clues now for the Who Am I? All we know so far, American person, born 1926, difficult upbringing, got married very young to her neighbour. Here we go. My big break came when I was spotted working on a munitions factory production line during World War II. A photographer on assignment spotted me, couldn't believe what he was seeing, and within 2 years I had appeared on 33 magazine covers. I went on to marry two of the most famous men in America, a legendary baseball star and a celebrated playwright, and became the first ever centerfold in a brand new men's magazine in 1953, and that was called Playboy. Have you worked out who it is yet? We haven't even talked about her work yet, but she's a very famous actress. Question 15. What song by Johnny Cash is also the name given to a region in the basin of the Pacific? That'd be The Ring of Fire. Would that be his most famous song, Ring of Fire? I guess A Boy Named Sue is up there as well. Not a huge Johnny Cash fan, respect to him, but I will say his cover of Bridge Over Troubled Waters is an abomination. Don't at me, it's just my opinion. Question 16. What is the common collective noun for dolphins? If you see a heap of dolphins, you'd go, oh, look, it's a what of dolphins? It's a pod of dolphins. Question 17. Which country was Slobodan Milosevic president of from 1989 to 1997? Slobodan Milosevic was president of Serbia, but from 1997 to 2000, he was the president of the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. They changed along the way. It's complicated. Serbia. Answer to the question I asked you is Serbia. Question 18. Musicals. Which duo wrote the comic operas The Mikado, HMS Pinafore, and The Pirates of Penzance? Was that Rodgers and Hammerstein or Gilbert and Sullivan? Pirates of Penzance, etc., all written by Gilbert and Sullivan. Question 19. Alive or not so much? Kiki Dee, with whom Elton John had a hit with Don't Go Breaking My Heart in the 1970s. Remember that one? Is Kiki Dee still alive or not so much? Kiki Dee, her real name is Pauline Matthews. She's 79 years old and she is still alive. Good on you, Kiki. Question 20. Don't normally do a true or false here, but I'm disguising a music question as a true and false. This question supplied by my brother Paul, who plays Paul McCartney in a Beatles band, and it's a little bit of hardcore Beatles knowledge. Therefore, I thought I'd put it as a true-false, so you got a 50-50 out of either way. Here we go. True or false? During the Sgt. Pepper sessions, John Lennon counts in the first take of the Beatles song A Day in the Life by muttering, Sugarplum Fairy, Sugarplum Fairy. It's a very random question. And it's true, John Lennon was known for counting in songs in odd ways from time to time. Might have been the drugs, who's to say? Anyway, that's actually true. John Lennon counted in the first take of the Beatles song A Day in the Life by muttering, Sugarplum Fairy, Sugarplum Fairy. Good on you, John. Final clues now for the Who Am I? Who am I? You might know me best for standing over a New York City subway grate in a white dress, or for singing Happy Birthday, Mr. President to JFK in 1962. I died later that same year at just 36 years old, and more than 500 books have been written about my life since. I'm also the subject of a famous song by Elton John in which he mentioned my real name in the first line of the song, my real name, of course, being Norma Jean. I am, of course, Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe, remembered more for the myth and the legend around her than her actual acting performances. Fascinating. She's worth a Google. Okay, time now for our player questions, where I invite you to submit a trivia question for me to ask on this podcast. If you've got one for me, send it to me. 21 Questions by Trivia Tribe Facebook page. It's the same logo you'll see on the podcast you're listening to now. Send me a question and I will use it in a future episode, just like Helen from Maroochydore has done. Helen asked last week, what are the dots on a dice called? And they are called pips. P-I-P-S, pips. Excellent. Thank you, Helen. This episode, Jeff from a place called Tigeham has sent me a question, and that is, how many pleats are on a traditional chef's hat? And I had no idea. I didn't know there was a number of pleats on a traditional chef's hat. I knew there were some. I didn't know there was a specific number. Thank you, Jeff. I'll look into that. Now, I mentioned before, if you'd like to send me a trivia question, please do that. And there's a specific reason for asking now. This is episode 30 of this podcast. Honestly, most podcasts don't get to 30 episodes and most podcasts don't get the number of listeners that I already have. So to celebrate that, I'm planning something. Pretty soon, I'm going to hit 50 episodes. And when I do, I would like to do an entire episode made up of player questions. And that's where I need you to come in. I need enough questions to populate an entire episode. So send me one. 21 Questions by Trivia Tribe on Facebook. Send me a question. I will use one every episode as I'm doing now, but I'm going to need to get ahead and get enough to populate episode 50. Send it to me. That'll be great. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for playing along. Comment your score. I want to know how you're going with these. Are they too easy, too hard, somewhere in the middle? Are they just right? Are they the Goldilocks? I want to know. This podcast comes out every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thank you for playing along. Catch you in a couple of days with another episode. My name's Mike. I love you. Bye.